If there's anything we like, it's a big old turbski. And here's 3 things you're gonna wanna consider before you slap one on your car. Number 1, fuel system capacity and type of fuel. While it's super important to have enough fuel, it's also critically important to think about what kind of fuel you're gonna be using, especially depending on how much power you're trying to make and with how much boost. If your setup is super simple, maybe just a factory replacement turbo and maybe some bigger injectors or something like that, then pump gas is probably okay for you. However, if you're choosing a turbo that's considerably larger than stock and you're running considerably more boost than stock, you're gonna wanna consider something like ethanol, whether that's E30, E50, or full-blown E85. It's gonna be much less knock prone and your engine's definitely gonna thank you later. Up next is your overall power goal. And what's really important to keep in mind here is not just the number you're shooting for, but what that number, if achieved, means for how your car is gonna drive. For example, especially talking about 4-cylinder platforms, large power goals usually mean large turbos. And that means all the characteristics you like about how your car currently is can completely change and you might not even like it. So be sure to keep in mind turbo lag and where in that power band the power comes on when you're choosing the turbo size and your actual horsepower goal. And the last thing actually has nothing to do with the turbo at all. Significantly increasing the power that the car makes can introduce a few problems that you might not have been aware of previously. For example, if your car made 200 horsepower with the crank from factory, now it's making 600 wheel. Are your brakes good enough to stop the car? How are your tires? Do you have some cheap tires on there? Maybe you should consider an upgrade. How's your clutch? Is your clutch going to be able to handle that? So there are a lot of things adjacent to the actual making of the power that you're going to want to consider as a part of the build holistically. At the end of the day, you're just going to want a car that functions and is actually good to drive. It's more than just a dyno sheet, regardless of what Instagram or YouTube might tell you. I hope this helped. If you have questions on your build and how to get there, hit us up at MAPerformance.com.